Hello, this is Ace. He is here for some one-on-one lessons to learn some basics, and he's very excitement reactive towards everything, and he's a bit insecure too, I found out. Anyway, I just thought I would take a little video showing different leash communications just with prong collar, what it looks like when it's good, when it's bad, as well as pressure work. Now, if he's already barking, I just get out of there. Okay, I just get out of there. I just move quickly and get some space till the dog settles down. Now, for the purposes of this video, the leash work that I'm doing is just to show the different ways to communicate on leash, slip leash, whatever it is that you are using. Now, right here, there are dogs in the backyard, and he's not barking. He's alert. So I can give a tug. So I go to the side, loosen the leash, and give a tug. It takes two. So it's a pop and release of the leash. I'm going to show it again. Now I move my leash to the side and he's pulling. So I loosen the leash and give him two pops or a check or a tug, whatever you want to call it. You're popping the leash. Now on this drive forward, right there, that was a firmer pop because I used his momentum at the end of the leash. That's a different method. Show that almost where the dogs kind of, do it themselves and you can kick back at the same perfect timing that they hit the end of the leash. I'll show that again. Ooh, that timing actually wasn't perfect, but you get the idea. Now, those are two forms of corrections, or they can be low communications, little tugs on the leash for communication, or it can be firmer to snap your dog out of something. And if you're not firm enough, you could actually amp them up. So there's all kinds of nuance in tugs or checks. So here, the most underused, undervalued form of communication is pressure. People give up on it way too fast because they want quicker results. Dogs have to understand pressure. Pressure starts out as just guiding the dog. You're not actually pulling the dog. You're applying pressure with the leash, and the dog, the dog gives into that pressure along with your body, moving a certain direction. So it's pressure and body language. Now, if the dog is really struggling, then you are adding in increased pressure. You start with just tension on the leash, and then you go to increased pressure if the dog is struggling, and then when the dog gives in, you release pressure right away. That's actual teaching. You can't forget about that, and you should be doing hundreds of those reps with a few pops sprinkled in the beginning stages of training. Look at it as the pop helps cut through arousal that's just getting way too intense. And then the pressure work is actually teaching your dog and working them through emotions. Now, what does a bad correction look like? Your dog is pulling really hard and you decide to try to do a pop or check the dog, and you have a tight leash and you try to pop the leash. You don't give slack first. Then you just end up pulling your dog really hard. So the dog doesn't learn anything except to eventually push through leash communication. Now, I did 98% pressure work with this dog. So what you saw in the video was pretty much all of the pop communications. I saved them, for here so you guys could see them, and I repeated them a lot. Like a lot of them were duplicates just so you could see it over and over while I was talking. 98% has been all pressure work. Then we layered e-collar like here in the video, but I just wanted you to catch a little glimpse of him with dogs still working outside and working him through it. We layered e-collar pressure about 15 minutes in, and how great he was doing with that. And there was no e-collar corrections. The only corrections we did was what you saw in the video, was like a pop and release of the leash. That was it, along with body language. And so that's how far you can get very quickly in a session with your dog. Are the checks of the leash, are those very necessary for most dogs? Yes, they are. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 10. It depends on the dog. This little dog is quite intense. That's why he's here. He's very, very feisty in a lot of ways. But anyway, I won't go into that. But that hopefully gives you a really good idea of just what's possible.